ma'am. I'm currently a communications captain, and I've been on the department for a little over 18 years.
Okay, and my other question for you is just probably for everyone and come up here, you can just add it in your questions. Have there been any grievance filed on your behalf to the city of Houston based on what's going on right now?
I personally have not filed a grievance with the city. Some of the folks I work with.
Okay, so I guess I'll just address that to some of the ones who probably have filed a grievance and what's the state of that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Green.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for coming forward. With regard to, I think we just heard from legal that there's some sort of inequity with regard to this. And so have you requested, or do you know if collective bargaining has been requested to be reopened specifically for this issue?
That may be better answered by the union president.
Mayor, do you know if they've requested to reopen this issue with, reopen collective bargaining with regard to this issue?
Not to my knowledge.
And I do not have that information. I can try to get that.
My understanding is that we had come to an agreement through the collective bargaining process and we were beginning to move it forward, but that there were some second thoughts on the other side, and I'll wait until those second thoughts are resolved at the bargaining table. If they are completely happy with the agreement they have made, I'll be glad to post it.
Okay, but if they're not and want to reopen it, they haven't requested to do so?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Brad? Thank you, Captain. Mayor Pro Tem Gonzalez?
Thank you, Mayor. I guess the disadvantage maybe that we as council members may have is that we're not privy to what's going on in the discussions between our firefighters and the city and the collective bargaining process and what was being discussed. I hear two different things. One is I hear that the hours were adjusted and that those that were impacted were okay with that change because it changed the hours, but that what wasn't necessarily discussed was the impact that it would have on your time off. And I think that's the issue that you're speaking about. So I just don't know how we, around the council table, not being privy to the exact negotiations, can decipher through some of that. So that's some of the limitations that at least I find myself at right now, is not really understanding those sides and what the legal process is and what was discussed through collective bargaining. There appears to be two sides to what was discussed and what the intent of those negotiations were. I know that the hours were impacted, like I said, but I don't know how deep down those discussions went in terms of how it would impact when someone with those changed hours took time off. And I think that's where you were impacted. So
Yes, it was.
yeah. So
And some of the folks that will be speaking to you
okay.
can
Yes, I know.
further clarify that for you. But
Yes,
as far as numbers go and
yes.
throwing those numbers and calculations around, they will be able to answer those questions for you.
Yeah, because for me, my concern is ultimately the firefighters that are in the middle, not the ones negotiating or the city, or it's just that we do well by what's best for the firefighters. But again, there is a process to all this,
Yes, there is.
and we all have to be respectful of that. So I don't know how much leeway